Joining me now is the chairman of the Senate Foreign Relations Committee, Republican from Tennessee, Bob Corker. Senator Corker, welcome back to Meet the Press.
Chuck, good to be with you. Thank you.
Well, you are perhaps the single most important lawmaker when it comes to giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down on a deal. There's plenty of reports. The expectation is some provisional deal is getting close to being agreed to and announced tomorrow. Are you feeling better today than you did last week about Secretary Kerry as a negotiator?
Well, Chuck, it's no.
Okay.
I went over to the White House on Thursday night and had an update, but no, I mean, I think we've been on a downward trend for some time. We really crossed the Rubicon when we went from, during the JPOA, to dismantling their program to agreeing to enrichment. We've moved towards managing their proliferation, and there are some key issues that remain that I hope we will hold firm to. We've got to ensure that this is verifiable, that we have anytime, anywhere inspections,
right,
that they are accountable, that we know what their previous military dimensions were, we have access to all of their scientists. We know they were building a bomb. We just want to know how far they got in previous efforts. And then thirdly, we need to make sure it's enforceable. You know, likely Iran will cheat by inches, meaning they will just cheat. And over time, it's like boiling an egg. They end up with a nuclear weapon. So what are the repercussions for that? Obviously, there are other elements that are being brought in at this time.
Right.
I'm glad that they are taking their time, because I believe the deadline was actually working to Iran's advantage. They started throwing in other elements.
Right.
But no, I'm concerned about where we're going.
So it doesn't sound like that a deal that they come up with, and you know, I know you don't want to prejudge what's in there, but from everything you seem to understand, it doesn't sound like you can support this deal. And if you can't support this deal, I don't see how this gets through the Senate.
Yeah. Yeah, well, Chuck, so look, part of what we do here is to try to stiffen the negotiators, and we try to point out those areas that are not yet agreed to and to try to get them not to cross those red lines. Actually, I think we've been fairly effective. Other groups like the Washington Institute have done the same, a bipartisan group of people saying, look, we've really changed the way we've gone about this hugely by moving to managed proliferation, but these qualitative issues here at the end really matter. And so, Chuck, what I think you're going to see is people in the House really looking at how they manage these last issues. Obviously, we want to go through the agreement in whole. We haven't seen, for instance, there's an Iranian nuclear development program. We know that it's been agreed to.
Right.
But we don't know exactly what it says. We believe that it industrializes their program after year 10. But again, I want to see the agreement. I think I've been an honest broker in this from day one, and certainly we plan to go through it in great detail.
So I guess my only question is, so let's say you guys reject the deal in Congress, but the other five power, you know, this has been with the P5+1, as we say, the world powers plus Germany. If the rest of the countries have agreed to this deal and lowering their sanctions, how effective is it for the United States to be the one country to backtrack?
Yeah, well, I understand what's going to happen. The world's eyes are going to be on Congress once this comes over. But look, we have responsibilities to carry out. I think the fact that we've inserted ourselves, as you know, we had no power to intervene. The president had national security waivers where he could go straight to the UN Security Council. We injected ourselves into this. I think that has helped the process. But at the end of the day, I think people understand that if this is a bad deal that is going to allow Iran to get a nuclear weapon, they would own this deal if they voted for it, and so they'll want to disapprove it. On the other hand, if we feel like we're better off with it, people will look to approve. But I think at the end of the day, people are going to vote their conscience. I don't think they're going to worry about what the other nations are doing, and as a matter of fact, it's my sense that it's our nation that has pushed harder than the other Western nations to try to get this done. I realize Russia and China are going to be tough to hold.
Right.
Obviously, one of the key ingredients is keeping the international community together with these sanctions. But we understand the position we're going to be in. But I think that by inserting ourselves in the way that we've helped the process. We've helped to do everything we can to stiffen the backs of our negotiators.